Is God pushing you out of a job, or is your ego prematurely trying to remove you from a situation that God is still working on you in? Essentially, when I quit my 9-to-5 job, there was an opportunity waiting for me on the other end of it. A kind of a business opportunity landed in mine and my partner's lap. We took it, we built a business out of it, and I kept trying to leave this business, okay? I was like, I don't want to be in this business anymore. It's not fulfilling me. It's not lighting me up. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to leave. But every time I jumped out of this business, I kept being redirected right back to it. And I was like, God, why is this happening to me? Like, I don't want to be in this anymore. I create my own reality. I get to walk away whenever I say I want to walk away. And God very humbly kept, nope, there's something in this to be learned. And sometimes we prematurely leave situations because of our ego when, once again, God is still working on us within those situations. So when I tried to leave this business because it was not fulfilling me, I was still avoiding the work to be done in building a business, because whether it's our vending company or a mediumship company, I've got to know taxes. I've got to know communication. I've got to know team building. I've got to know the nitty gritty and the foundation that goes into any business. And I was trying to jump out of this one because it didn't fulfill me, when Spirit was telling me like, hey, there are still things to be learned in here. If I was to prematurely jump out of this business and, let's say, start a business that lights me up, I'm still going to be faced with the taxes. I'm still going to be faced with the team building. I'm still going to be faced with the financial side of it, all of the things that go into a business regardless. And if I didn't practice on this one, now I may be bombarded with all of it on this one, and I wouldn't be able to focus on the things that light me up, like mediumship, like content creation, like a physical product or something. I mean, whatever it ends up being. There are things that I was supposed to learn over here that I'm trying to bypass. So every time I jump out of it because it's not lighting me up, God's redirecting me to steward me, to build me up, to help me become the version of myself that can hold all of the manifestations that I'm trying to call in over here. So there is a complete difference, in my opinion, of jumping out of a situation because you feel spiritually led to, and jumping out of a situation because your ego is saying, I want more. And God works in people in such strange ways, like truly. Even if we think of our life like a garden, there's a season where we plant, there's a season where we nurture, and then there's a season where we harvest. And I think sometimes we all get wrapped up in this, like, I want to harvest constantly, and it's just not how the 3D is designed. I was reading Garrett Gunderson's book, Money Unmasked. I think it was that one. And he talks about how he was trying to prematurely write this book, but there were certain details that had yet to happen that if he would have wrote it before these details, a good portion of the book would have been missing. And I think sometimes we try to prematurely create our life and make this big fantastic thing out of it. We're trying to skip the boring daily things to build our character up, to jump into a lifestyle that we have not become the person yet to hold. Like, you can't be a gym person and never go to the gym. You can't be, you can, and when I say this, hear me, you can be rich without being wealthy. You can come into large amounts of money without knowing how to hold it. You want to know how to hold it. You want to become the person that is ready for all of the things that you're calling in, and you can't skip that boring part in the middle to do that. And I think a lot of us want to. A lot of us just want all of the things, not realizing that if our nervous system isn't primed enough to hold it, it's just going to slip right through your fingers. I was in close proximity to someone who came across $80,000. Random. Crazy. And before they came across this $80,000, there was about 6 months where they were out of a job. Okay. And in this 6 months, they could have rested, they could have healed some stuff, they could have trusted, they could have built a better relationship with Spirit, they could have built a better relationship with themselves. But instead, like most of us, they panicked, they worried, they stressed, they pushed, tried to find jobs, tried to make it work out, tried to be the one in control, not giving not giving in or surrendering to their higher power. And because of this, when the $80,000 came, because it was always destined to come, they didn't become the person who was able to hold it. And as fast as it hit their account, I promise you, it went right back out. So opportunities are going to find you, okay? Big things can happen and come and completely change and alter the trajectory of your life. I'm not saying that can't happen. It does happen all the time. But if something like that is destined for you, are you ready to hold it? Have you been doing the things on the daily to become the person who can hold these things without them slipping through your fingers? So that might just be your job right now. Like, I think, again, sometimes we want to be continuously like harvesting, and it's like, no, you've got to build up the muscle. You've got to become the person that can hold it. And whenever life looks mundane or boring or like just maybe not what your vision board looks like, that doesn't mean your vision board isn't coming. It just means you're in the middle of the prepping season to become the person that can hold the vision board. Something higher than you can see the entire picture and is panning it out behind the scenes to make it work perfectly for you, for certain things that are going to happen in your life that you can't see, for certain opportunities or situations that are going to present themselves that you're not taking into account right now. That's where this trust comes in. It's like, okay, there's something higher than me, whatever it is that you feel connected to, whether it's God, your higher self, the universe, your spirit team, your ancestors, whatever you feel divination in. If you can relax in the knowing that something has a bird's eye view over you and loves you so much and is guiding you through this bird's eye view, you can relax a little bit and not try to control all the time. Because that's what the person I was talking about was doing with the $80,000. They were trying so hard to control an outcome, they had no clue 80 grand was coming, and then they weren't prepared for the 80 grand when it got there and they blew it. Your job isn't always to control, to do, to be. Sometimes your job is just to take it day by day and choose tiny choices daily to build the grand picture. Because if you go and work out at the gym tomorrow, you're not going to wake up and look in the mirror and have a six-pack. You can only do a certain amount in a 24-hour period. But if you're doing the same small, boring, mundane shit every day for a 24-hour period, and then that bleeds into a week, and then that bleeds into a month, and then that bleeds into a year, then you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see some progress. But I think sometimes we look at every day as like I don't have it yet, so I'm frustrated, and it puts us in this chase, in this ungratefulness, in this kind of like bratty attitude that I can find myself in. That's like, hey, God's working on you, man. Your spirit team's working on you. You're evolving. You're growing. You're doing so much better. Look at where you are today and where you were a year ago. You're doing better, but it didn't happen overnight. It was because you consciously chose probably the boring, mundane things daily to build up better habits, to maybe help your focus or help your spending or help your mental health, whatever it is. But it takes the daily boring stuff to become the version of you that can hold all of the things that you're trying to call in. Because a year ago, I would not have been able to hold the house that I live in now. If you would have moved me into this house a year ago, I would have constantly been stressing, worrying, wondering, and afraid because the bill on it is so much higher than the bill on my previous house. I had to become the person who felt fully worthy of it. And sometimes that's all it is. It's like we don't feel worthy enough to hold some of the manifestations that we have. Even when I think about the person that came across the $80,000, that was probably the most money that they had ever seen in their entire life. And they started to instantly push it away energetically because they didn't feel worthy of holding it. They had never built wealth. They didn't build the muscle or the skill to understand finances. They were still in a lack mentality. And when large amounts of money or opportunity find you, it's just going to amplify who you are on a soul level. So if your nervous system doesn't feel worthy, if your nervous system thinks money is bad, or you have these like subconscious programs around finances and then money finds you, it's not just going to instantly fix your financial situation just because it's a large chunk of cash. If anything, it's just going to amplify the negative parts of the financial situation that you didn't get to the bottom of. I'm just saying, before your life ends, you're going to want to figure this shit out. And you might just be in a season of figuring some shit out, of figuring out your nervous system, your energy, how you feel about things, how you communicate to spirit, how you communicate to God. All of these things are so important for the blueprint of your life, and to be able to feel fully in charge, to be able to relax, to be able to enjoy, to be able to be present in the moment. Because the last thing that you want truly is for all of this money to find you, these opportunities to find you, these jobs to find you, whatever it is you're trying to call in, and you're so disassociated that you can't even enjoy it. Because, and I'm speaking on experience here, money genuinely cannot fix your mental health. It won't. It may temporarily relieve some things. I'm not negating that. It can temporarily relieve some things, but once the novelty wears off, you are stuck with your brain. You are stuck with your perspective. You are stuck with your belief systems. These are the things you want to get to the bottom of first. So again, when these things come into your life, you're not dealing with that. You're just able to enjoy it. And maybe that's all God's doing in your life right now, is priming you for all the things it is that you've been calling in. Thanks for watching. Godspeed on your adventure.